What is up? Welcome back to another mock draft here. This time we're looking at the Green Bay Packers, another full 7-round mock draft. This will be my 3.0 version. I'm probably going to end up doing maybe 5 total versions. So if you haven't checked out the first 2, I did put them in the link below. And this time I've been trying different simulator sites. I really like this one. So NFL Mock Draft Database, definitely really, this is probably one of my favorite sites that I found this season. So go ahead and try your own. With that, we're going to get into it. With the other 2 mocks, I did go wide receiver, wide receiver to start. Probably not very likely that it's going to happen. So I want to, switch it up, and then maybe in another week or 2, I'll put out another mock. So let's hop right into it. 2022 NFL Mock Draft Simulator. Let's go ahead and pick our Green Bay Packers. Select them there. You can select all if you wish, but we're just going to do the Packers today. We'll select 2022. We'll do 7 full rounds. You can change the speed. You can do some other settings here, and then I'm just going to call this 3.0. So let's get right into it, and it looks like it's going right away. So kind of fun here. It's just going to simulate while we are waiting. I did want to pull up the Packers. This is CBS Sports article. Our team needs, or the Packers team needs, wide receiver, offensive tackle, tight end, defensive tackle, edge, and wide receiver. Again, players acquired: Pat O'Donnell. Players lost: edge Zadarius Smith, guard Lucas Patrick, linebacker Oren Burks, offensive tackle Billy Turner, and wide receiver Devontae Adams. So weighing heavily in the lost column, we do need some wide receiver, offensive tackle help. I will go ahead and let me just pull up the Packers. I want to pull up the Packers depth chart real quick. And I just want to make sure that we're looking at the board. We're not really picking for need. We're just picking best player. But if it does happen to fill a position of need, I am totally for that move. So here we go. We're up to pick here. Looking at the picks, it looks like Chris Olave and Treylon Burks are off the board, same as Jamison Williams, Garrett Wilson. So we missed on the top 4 wide receivers, which is unfortunate. But that kind of, that works well. Drake London also went number 11 here. So you're looking at the top 5 receivers all off the board here. That's going to make me do something different in this mock draft than the ones I have done. And again, if you want to see my receiver mocks, link in the description below. But now we have to kind of make some decisions. Packers are on the clock, pick number 22. And what's really cool is if you hover like above the teams, you can hit the Green Bay tab. It's going to tell you. So like, and what's cool about Mock Draft Database is they collect a ton of mock drafts and they kind of just combine everything and give you average rankings. So it looks like for the most part, 25% of people are giving us Chris Olave, 22.2 say Treylon Burks, 11.1% people say Jamison Williams, and about 42% other. So in this one, we're going to be in the 42% because we can't get any of these receivers. And then I like just kind of scroll down and look around here. So Acme Packing has Packers taking George Karlaftis from Purdue, Chris Olave, Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle here, Chris Olave, Bernard Raymond, Treylon Burks. So it's either receiver, edge, or offensive tackle here. I feel pretty good about those positions. And as we see the board here, Charles Cross is hanging around here. I don't know if he's on the Packers board, but if that's true, I'm interested in Charles Cross. I think Kenyon Green can be of some help here as well. I do like Devontae Wyatt, defensive lineman here. He could be a nice piece as well. But I think there's Bernard Raymond as well. I think what we're going to do here is, I don't know, is Charles Cross like on the Packers radar here? Let me actually see. Because we can go to the consensus big boards here, and I'm gonna scroll down where Charles Cross is the consensus number 8 player here. You see him going to Seattle, falling as far as 17th. No one has him falling that far to Green Bay. So if he were to fall, man, the offensive tackle here makes a lot of sense. He can be your right tackle. And again, Green Bay right now, they're going to be using Bakhtiari. They slid Josh Neiman into right tackle, left tackle at various times last year. So this does give them a position of need. Let's go ahead and lock in. And again, this could be Charles Cross. This could be Kenyon Green. This can be Devontae Wyatt. This could be, even Bernard Raymond if they wanted to reach. But I'm going to go ahead and just get the offensive tackle out of the way here. Charles Cross. Again, all the receivers were gone, so that's unfortunate, but we will see what we can do. We loaded up with one of the best offensive linemen in this class. After we picked, you see Kenyon Green, Devontae Wyatt, Trent McDuffie, Nakobe Dean, and Zion Johnson. So interesting board here. Not sure why there's no quarterbacks being taken off the board yet. That does seem a little bit problematic here. There's probably a good chance the Packers actually do get one of these players to fall to them. But what do we do here? The receiver market, I like Jahan Dotson. I don't know if we're going to take him at 28. I think right now it makes more sense for the Packers to kind of wait and maybe take an edge boy Maff here from Minnesota. I like him at this point. If we do look again at the Packers profile here, round one here, you see Boy Mafe from Minnesota from Lombardi Ave. Calling it there. Chris Paul, an interior offensive lineman. Zion Johnson would have been nice, another interior offensive lineman. There's Boy. There's Fedarian Mathis going back to March here. So interesting. I do think the edge position, again, they lost Zadarius Smith. It does make sense to bolster some of that edge rush here. I mean, if Kenyon Green, Devontae Wyatt were there or Zion Johnson, I'd run that pick in. But now I'm kind of thinking, let's go ahead and let's get the edge out of the way. It seems like there's a big drop off to edge here, going all the way down to number 54, the Penn State Beckety here. So let's go ahead and get the best available edge rusher here, Boy Mafe from Minnesota. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. And guess what? No receivers. No Packer receivers in the first round in this mock. So my first mock doing that. Again, if you want to watch those mocks, check out the other two videos linked in the description below. And now we're just on wait. I still can't believe Malik Willett. And there's Malik. There's Kenny Pickett. These guys should be gone by now. So that might have changed. That might have changed our first and second round picks. But anyways, we are up to pick here. You see a linebacker, Christian Harris, Logan Hall, defensive line, Trey McBride, really, really good tight end, probably the best tight end in this class. Quay Walker, linebacker here. Let's just see what they're kind of mocking the Packers here. George Pickens, wide receiver, Christian Watson. I think we should take a peek at the receiver market. I'm just going to click that button. You see Sky Moore, John Michie, David Bell. I'm not going to dilly-dally here because there are some receiver-needy teams in this group here. So I'm going to run David Bell in, our first receiver of the draft here, and then we'll see what falls to us. I don't really know if I want to take another one. I like John Mechie, but again, this feels a little high. We could wait for Justin Ross, Alec Pierce, Velus Jones, Romeo. Like, there's a lot of guys. I think we're going to take the receiver by committee approach. And now, again, the Packers needs, they needed. I wish I could see my picks. Where are my picks here? My selections. There we go. We got the offensive tackle. We have the edge rusher. We have the receiver, David Bell. We want to get more receivers here. Trey McBride could be a really nice tight end. I'm curious about this Logan Hall character. Let me see. Do they have Logan Hall on the Packers board here? So he's ranked number 48 here. CBS has it going at 22 to Green Bay, which is you look at these mock drafts here, they have this guy going end of the first round here. Logan Hall from Houston. This was before the Dolphins here, before they got Tyreek Hill, but there's a couple Green Bays here linked. So I kind of like this move here, grabbing the best defensive lineman available here. Logan Hall out of Houston. It looks like there's a drop off from Logan Hall to Fedarian Mathis. So I think it makes sense. Let's go ahead and grab the Packers. So really well-rounded draft so far. Charles Cross, or your favorite offensive tackle at 22, or your favorite interior lineman, whatever you want. Boy Mafe from Minnesota, the edge rusher. David Bell, 53, round 2. And then Logan Hall. So I'm liking this well-balanced approach that we got here. And we're up to pick again, round 3. And I think at this point now it's just kind of like rapid fire. We kind of do whatever we want. I really like Isaiah Likely if we're interested in tight ends, but we could probably wait on tight end a little bit later. There's some guys I like deeper. I do like Josiah DeGuara. I do like Robert Tonyan. So I don't think that's a huge need. But again, he is the highest rated guy, so it makes sense. What about Damone Clark? Let me take a look here. So as far as linebackers go, the Packers are overall pretty set at starting positions with Campbell, Chris Barnes. A lot of people don't like Chris Barnes. I love Chris Barnes. He showed a lot of heart, and I think he can hold his own. To me, he's slightly above average as far as a starting inside linebacker. So I love our two linebackers here. If anything, we'd just be adding some depth here. And again, we did plug in Logan Hall here to compete at the defensive line position. We got the edge rusher. We could maybe use a backup safety or a backup corner here. That could make sense. We could always use a guard. Let's take a peek at those wide receivers. Velus Jones, interesting speedster from Tennessee, Romeo Dubes. And as we get deeper here, that's going to start to fall off. But I'm kind of interested in some wide receivers later. Maybe not right now. Again, we only have one wide receiver, so that's probably not going to be good enough. Um, but Damone Clark, is that interesting here at linebacker? Let me look real quick. So they got Damone Clark here, kind of like all over the place. Round three seems to be the likely round. I don't see any. There's one link to the Packers, but maybe we just filter by all. A couple linebackers here, a couple tight ends. Running back James Cook is nice. Offensive tackle Abraham Lucas, Josh Pascal, edge rusher there, Kyron Williams. There's a safety here from Maryland here. The Packers do have Darnell Savage out of Maryland as well. Damian Pierce. Looks like running back is kind of the bright spot right now at this specific moment of the draft. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just get them the tight end. Let's get the kid here, Isaiah Likely. If you guys haven't seen Isaiah Likely, this is just another passing weapon, small school, but man, he tested out really, really well. He's kind of the consensus number 2 tight end in the draft here. And again, I don't really like the receiver depth at this point of the draft. We'll look at that round 4, but let's go ahead and add another tight end because tight ends, we only got 2 really on the roster, Tunyon and Josiah DeGuara. I don't know if Mercedes Lewis, we don't know what's going on with him. I don't think he's under contract right now. So only 2 tight ends on the roster. Let's add a and keep in mind Robert Tunyon with his torn ACL. He's not gonna be. He might not be ready to start the season. So I do think tight end is a position of need. So far we have added Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. Boy Mafe, edge rusher out of Minnesota. David Bell, wide receiver out of Purdue. Logan Hall, defensive lineman from Houston, and tight end Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina. And now the Packers have 2 fourth-round picks kind of in a bunch here. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'm interested in of course, I guess the tight ends and the running backs are kind of all getting pushed to the top of the board here. Not sure I love it. But let's look at the receivers here. I like Erik Ezukanma. I don't know how to say his name, but he played well. Tyquan Thornton was the guy that ran the really fast 40 time. You know, there's some really good players deep in the draft here still. As I look here, I don't really see anything that deep, but maybe they take a chance here on Erik Ezukanma. Let me see if I can find him here for you guys, and I'll give you his information. Um, let's see, out of Texas Tech, he had a nice season last year. Let me show you his. Can you see his stats? So last year, 48 receptions, 705 yards, 4 touchdowns. The year before that, 46 catches, 748 yards, and six touchdowns. Just really consistent his last 3 seasons. And you can kind of see in the mock drafts, I don't know who's got him going in the first round. That's wrong. These are really, really old. But of late, he's been as high as round 3, as low as round 7. His measurables: 6'2", 209, decent vertical, really good shuttle time. I didn't see a 40 time in there. So let's go ahead and get him in. He's a projected 5th-round pick, but I'll tell you what, the Packers need bodies. Let's go ahead and add Erik Ezukanma from Texas Tech and see what's going to come next as we are back on the clock. And again, this is what we have been working with so far. And keep in mind, this is just for fun. I'm not really trying to be serious here. Basically, when I do a mock here, I'm just trying to be open-minded and see, okay, we do this. What's the next decision? I'm just trying to add more names to my my knowledge bank here as I get ready for the NFL draft. So far, only 2 receivers. Maybe we grab one more guy here. I like the running back market right now. The Packers don't really have anybody after Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Kylan Hill looked good last year for sure, but definitely could use another running back. Maybe we take a peek at some of these backup positions, interior offensive linemen. And for some reason, these guys are really, really low. 163. Maybe they wait. Let's take a look at the more defensive linemen here. Not really anything sticking out here. What about cornerback? Jalen Armour Davis, the kid from Alabama. We could take Michael Wright out of Oregon. Kalen Barnes out of Baylor. I'm kind of liking the Alabama Jalen Armour Davis. Let me take a look at him real quick. Jalen Armour Davis. So 6'1", 197. Usually the Packers like a taller cornerback. He did start. He played 11 full games last year. 3 interceptions, 4 passes defense. You look at the mock drafts here. Kind of a consensus round 5 guy, as high as 93. So some good rankings on him, kind of all across the board. So again, the Packers pretty deep at cornerback. They're sitting there with Stokes, Jair Alexander, Razul Douglas, But after that, they don't really have a number 4 corner, and we could probably look at safety as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock the kid in from Alabama. Just add some depth there in the secondary. And we have how many picks left? 4 more picks left to go. I have a fifth and 3/7. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I am interested in some more offensive linemen for sure. Maybe a safety and maybe another receiver or 3 at this point. For some reason, the running backs are just falling in this draft. So I don't buy that. Like I mean, if any of these guys are available, I would say like, at this point, screw it. Like draft those offensive linemen. But let's go ahead and maybe add an interior offensive lineman here. Maybe we wait, I guess, again, because we're not going to have one until the 7th round. So this pick makes it very difficult. Reggie Robertson from SMU had a really good season. I'm just going to add him because I watched him a little bit ago, and he looked like a nice piece that could be fun for the Packers. And if you are unfamiliar with Reggie Robertson, I'll tell you what, SMU, man, they threw the ball a lot last year. They had, I think, 3 receivers in this draft. You see Danny Gray here, Reggie Robertson. Let's go ahead and click on him here. 5'11", 192. Not a very good vertical, but he is a very productive, 4-year player at least for the SMU Mustangs here. And you kind of see he's a consensus round 5 pick, kind of just being thrown around to a numerous amount of teams. So just another camp body for the Packers here. And now we get to our round 7 pick. So I'm just going to kind of fill some positions of need, and I think we'll call it a day. How about that? So we're looking for maybe maybe an interior lineman here. Let's just go ahead and grab the kid from Oklahoma, Tyrese Robinson, see if he can stick around. I do like Oklahoma linemen every now and then. And then let's go ahead and look here. We're going to be picking shortly. So we'll fill another position of need. We didn't address linebacker in this draft. We did not address safety in this draft. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the top linebacker here. It looks like Josh Ross out of Michigan. And then I believe we have one more pick left. And this could be anything. This could be a running back. This could be a safety. This could be, kind of a luxury pick here. So safeties, Reed Blankenship, Middle Tennessee State could be fun. USC, Isaiah Pala Mao. But let's look at running back real. CJ Verdell, really quick back here. Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers is a pretty promising back. Max Borghi, Master Teague. I'm not seeing anyone stick out down here. So the running backs really got hammered of late here. But CJ Verdell, interesting guy. Zaquandre White, interesting guy as well. So I'll go ahead and just grab another running back, and we'll call it a day here. But again, I want to be prepared as a Packer fan. I want to be prepared for that worst case scenario mock draft where there's no receivers available for us at 22 and 28. So here's our recap. Offensive tackle, Charles Cross, Mississippi State. At 22, Boy Mafe out of Minnesota, the edge rusher. David Bell, the Purdue receiver. Logan Hall, Houston defensive lineman. Isaiah Likely, the receiving tight end from Coastal Carolina. Do some research on him. Go watch a YouTube video on Isaiah Likely. A lot of fun. Erik Ezukanma out of Texas Tech. Watch him as well. Jalen Armour Davis, cornerback out of Alabama. Reggie Robertson, wide receiver from SMU. Tyrese Robinson, interior offensive lineman, Oklahoma. And Josh Ross, linebacker, Michigan. Zaquandre White, South Carolina. So a lot of fun here. If you guys want to go and try your own NFL mock draft database, or let me know if you guys like any of the picks that I made. Again, just having fun, spitballing here, nothing too serious. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like the other videos, check them out. Subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in a future video. Peace.